Seasiders TV, welcoming people. We're going to get straight into it tonight because I've been feeling a bit ropey today. I ain't going to lie. But we have got the main man in. If you watched the Ingram out, Tomo era begins video, you'll know that I'm mentally excited for this. I'm probably like in the top 2% of people that are buzzing off this. Yeah. So there's no point in wasting any time. We will get Tomo in straight after this. Tomo,
good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm not bad, mate. Not bad at all, thank you.
So, hang on. On Saturday, am I right in thinking that was the first training session on grass or 3G or whatever?
Yeah, we trained on Wednesday in York, but the university condemned the 3G. I think it was about -4. So we did a bit of a strength and conditioning session in the gym. But yeah, first opportunity to get the boys on the grass on Saturday, mate. So it was really beneficial.
What did you make of it? Did you getting a look? Your first look at the boys? Was you? Well, you're not going to be. It's not going to surprise you because you've been doing this for a while now. You've been in management for a while now. But was there any kind of standout things where you thought, yeah, I can really use that, I can get stuck into that? Or was there a few bits that concerned you and you thought, I need to be fixing that first and foremost? What was your overall impression?
No, listen, I think I was just over the moon to get the boys out. So the amount of boys that was available and trained for us on Wednesday was really encouraging. So it was great to have the meet and greet on Wednesday. I think we knew pre-getting to York that we couldn't go on the 3G, but I wasn't going to change anything because, the meet and greet was just as important to sort of set out our standards, our plans, what we wanted to achieve. But Josh is majorly beneficial as well in relation to what he does from a physiotherapy and medical point of view. So we had a really good session on Wednesday, and that was more about standard setting, like I say. So Saturday was brilliant because we planned to the nth degree what we wanted to do. There is changes. Obviously, there's going to be changes in the way we go about doing things because we've got our own ways and our own standards. But yeah, I think the nice thing was we was in Brid, so we trained at CYP. We had a few people that came down to have a little look and a nosy, which again, I'm all over. We're here to put on a decent show for you guys, so I've got no qualms with that sort of thing either. But we had a little chuckle, mate, because I think I've been coming to Brid for best part of 10 plus years to play football, coach football, manage, and I've never turned left at them traffic lights in my life. It's the first session I've ever had out. Yeah, seriously. It's sort of like Seaside, Leisure Centre or Queensgate for me. So it was nice. It was nice to get there and get the time in the boys and do a little bit of activation stuff, things that we think are really important. Work on a bit of shape, work on a bit of what we want to see the boys set up like, and just enjoy it. Just to get out on the grass, mate, was really important. So yeah, everybody bought into it. Everybody was there, and it was great to see. Really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, it was like for just like your average football fan who just kind of started a YouTube channel because he was a bit bored. Like seeing that kind of. I've never been like good at sport, like my top level at sport. What's the best thing I've ever done? I won second place table tennis at CYP once. That's it, right? So like, like doing this, but I've always, like it's one of these people that's always loved sport but just never been good at it. So it's like it's a bit of a bummer, but getting down and then like seeing that like first team environment, seeing how like kind of like serious it is, not in the sense of like it feels like somebody's going to get told off, or it's like you could cut the atmosphere with a knife, but like seeing how focused in everybody is on the jobs, and like it's just mint because like you're looking and you can see like every single person there is there for a reason, and like there's no messing about, there's no, like there's banter, which is good, it's healthy, but when people need to lock in, you see that concentration, and it's like it is a proper like athlete mindset, isn't it? It's just I loved it. It was good.
Yeah, I think, like I say, you don't get that without the organisation. We planned it. We knew exactly what we wanted to achieve from it. There's also a certain time period that the lads can take information on for, So you try and do anything for much longer than 90 minutes, and you start to struggle. We're pretty intense in the way that the training looks, what we want to get out of it physically, but mentally as well. It could have been a bit draining on Saturday because of the amount of new information that was going in them. So yeah, we were really structured, make sure that we got everything across. The boys bought into it massively, which is everything that I want. It's we were pretty fortunate, mate, that the game went on Friday, because we weren't able to get much in them pre me coming in the front door. So it was a little bit of a blessing, because we've been able to get out and have that time on the grass on Saturday, and prepare us better for tomorrow night. So I'll take that. But yeah, I think you're right, mate. As a collective, as a management team, we've discussed what we want to do, how we want to change certain things, and make it as user friendly and easy for the boys to understand as possible, because we want to get the best out of them on the pitch, and in order to do that, they need to understand what our wants and desires are for the way we want to play the game. And like you say, mate, from my point of view, it was great to see. The buy-in was fantastic. They understood what we wanted. I got some challenge as well, which I love. There was some challenge around certain things that we wanted to do and how we could go about achieving it. And I love that, because, good challenge makes sure that you get the best out of everybody. And there was a little bit of that. So yeah, we walked away from it really happy with what the output of the boys were. And it gives us something to go into tomorrow night with full of confidence, knowing that it's a new system, it's a new way of doing things, but let's all buy into it, and we won't be far away from where I want us to be.
Yeah, so yesterday, I don't know what you can or can't say, but what I will say is what I saw, there was like some situational football kind of presets. So like, this is the way we want to, and you have to start with that, doesn't it? It's like, this is the way we're going to kick off. If we're taking the corners, this is how I want the team to look out, like positionally and stuff like that. And it's like, that's usually stuff that had been done weeks before the season even started. And it's like, so like, it's crazy. You look at it, you're going, we're halfway through a season, and like, we're having to like instill a whole new system and a whole new way of playing, new formation, and stuff like that. And so what I want, you got to kind of think like, this is still transitional, isn't it, Mike? Like, you can't do like a miracle with a gym session and one training session. It's going to take a little bit longer than that to see it, your system and the way you work, in full flow. But Bishop Auckland won't wait. It is going to be tomorrow night. So with that in mind, is there certain areas of the game where you think, we'll just keep that as what they know and change a few bits this time round? Or are you going, do you know what? Take the shackles off, and we're going to do things the Mike Thompson way, 100% from the get-go?
Yeah, we're gonna take the shackles off, mate. To be honest, I think it was really important to, like I say, it was a bit of a mental drain because of the amount of information that we wanted to get into them. But you could see pretty quickly what the buy into that was like. So yes, one of the big things that we said to players was, listen, if you take it on board and you buy it, and we make mistakes, that's on me, that's on us, because we are changing things for the better, in my opinion. But you're right, it takes time. Understanding that takes time. Sort of cultivating it takes time, and making it second nature takes time. So we're not naive to that. We're going to see that things don't always go to plan. But when we look at the personnel, we look at what we've got across the pitch, across the full squad, I think we've got a better way of playing. And that's the message that we've tried to put out to the boys pretty sharpish, that this is the way that we believe we can get the best out of you guys. And if you do buy into it, we think we can be successful with it. So yeah, it was great to see the receptiveness of it. Confidence levels were high. You mentioned yourself, the energy and the banter levels from the boys' perspective was high. And that's a great start point for me, because if we can do that really easy uplifting piece, taking that, transitioning it from information on the training field to a Tuesday or a Saturday is what then becomes the next bit. And I'd like to think we can do that pretty quick. Not naive to it, but I think we can make some pretty good changes pretty quick.
Yeah. The next thing I wanted to touch on, because it came out through the club channels today, is the staff that he brought in, being Andy Norfolk, Jamie Branwell, and John Price as like an analyst. Talk to me about those three characters. We know Andy Norfolk very well down at Queensgate, but talk to me as them as a trio, what they're going to bring to you, and how that's going to work on a day to day.
So I was really happy, mate, because everybody that I wanted at the club alongside me and the management team said yes. So my first choices are what are in the door with me. I wanted a management team of 6 because I take Josh into that as well, from the medical and physio perspective. Josh is probably one of the best around locally, with what he does during his day job, how he's been backed by the owners and Gav so far this season to implement, his ways. We're going to see some really good positive changes from that side of things as well with the football club. Mark Wayne's another one. He's there was no reason to change anything. He's young. He's good at what he does. He's got the respect to Seb and Seb and Ben. So it made absolute sense for me to keep that as is. And then we start looking at the additions. So Andy and Jamie were my 2 first phone calls really. You obviously know the background with myself and Andy. I've managed him previously, coached him previously, and played with him previously.
Yeah.
His coaching is superb. He does it full time. It's a part of his day job at Bishop Burton College, bringing these young lads through on BTEC programs, and he's really engaging in the way that he does things. And I've seen it a country mile off. I was a bit concerned because I've said to him historically, play as long as you can, Paul. Don't start doing any of the coaching full time until you can't play anymore. But the opportunity from his perspective as well was, he didn't want to turn it down. So for me to get Andy in, we work on the same wavelength. It feels right. We bounce off each other really, really well. And his history with the club is like, you don't need me to explain that. It goes a real long way. Jamie is another one, ex-professional footballer, UEFA licensed coach. Personality-wise, fits into this group unbelievably well. And with the synergy of he works with Andy, they both go through. They're both on the same program at Bishop Burton College. It just makes sense. Me and Barney go back probably 15, 17 years in relation to how well we've known each other and playing alongside each other historically. So. Yeah, it was when I was plotting out what I wanted. Andy and Jamie were my first 2 ports of call. So for them to both say yes and be interested in the journey, I was over the moon. John is another one. I brought him to the club, first team perspective, in my last turn around. He's going to be heading up all of our analysis, VO footage, a little bit of scouting, and just making sure as a management team we're set to go. We've got information into the lads that we've seen from previous footage, and setting ourselves up to know our opposition pretty well as well. And he's hit the ground running with that really well. It was fantastic for me first time round, and it gave us the opportunity to do what we did. So again, it seemed pretty fitting to ask him the question, and again, I was over the moon that he jumped at that. So when you look at how big the backroom staff is, it's only beneficial to aid what we do, and give the lads every opportunity to be successful on the football pitch, really, mate.
Do you think that with the boys that you brought in and how long you've actually known each other, you're going to have that like instant tightness, like because you've just been mates for like so long? So do you think that'll rub off on the boys and that'll transcend into the dressing room, or do you just think it gives you a really solid start, like a bit of like a head start? Whereas if you're building relationships in the coaching staff as well, that might take a little bit longer.
Yeah, well, it makes perfect sense to me. You know, if we all know each other's ways of doing things, the fact that, like I say, Andy and Jamie work together, you know, they're in sync, you know, already. My major thing, mate, I say it quite a lot. I always want to work with people that I trust. You know, so these guys again were absolute top of the list. John fits into that perfectly well as well because he came in. He was unknown to me previously, and I saw the great work that he did. So the trust was already there. And I think when you give the lads that platform, you know, you can see a management team that are in sync with each other, that enjoy each other's company. It filters through. And everything that we did on Saturday, you know, was planned, prepared, and good to go. So we utilised every scrap of time before there was a game on that kicked off at 2:00. And I think, you know, we ran over a little bit, but we utilised everything we could, and it was planned well. So yeah, I think hopefully that transcends to the boys. That looked like they enjoyed it, and they got the information that we required them to get out of it. I think proof's in the pudding, isn't it? You know, we'll see how things change and how quickly it changes. You know, because it's at the end of the day, mate, it's a results business, and we need to get ourselves out of the predicament we found ourselves in right now. And there's no better way than getting ourselves. We've had one training session. You know, let's go see what we can achieve on Tuesday night, and we're then bang bang bang, we're straight in. You know, 4 home games is brilliant. I love the fact that we've got 4 home games, because one thing that I really want to change is making this place a bit of a fortress and making it difficult to come, especially these guys that have to travel a long way. You know, we want to hit them early, and we want to make it a really, really difficult evening. And that starts, like I say, with information. They need to know what we expect of them, and I feel like we did that on Saturday.
Yeah, from like a fan's perspective, obviously Dan Rogers comes in, Smurf goes out, Dan Rogers comes in. He's changing the club left, right, and centre, all positive, modern moves down at Queensgate. And you see players coming in from like Cleethorpes or Nathan Dyer, ex-Leeds United Academy, Charlie Winfields of the world, you know, and you're thinking, do you know what? This season's going to be mint. Like, it's going to genuinely, this season from start to finish is going to be a buzz. And it hasn't worked out like that. And like the mood, although it hasn't been a bad mood, it hasn't been like a depressed mood. It's just like been a disappointing from the expectation to the reality. So like, obviously, with you coming in, obviously, because I came down and watched when you was last year, and I openly said, and you don't have to comment on this, I openly said when you left last time, I said that's just a backwards move for the club. And honestly, like, it did put me off a little bit, so I'm absolutely thrilled you're back. I also wanted to say, Andy Norfolk, like, blew my mind. And I know you've talked about him, but I said to Ryan, I said to Ben Edwards, like, as a coach, his voice just carries like the whole pitch, and he's like, and he's real animated, and I just thought he was absolutely excellent. I've got to say, like, and he's gonna, like, for people who watch his channel, Andy said he's gonna come on as well. You know, as the season goes on, so that's good for you guys at home. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on Andy because I thought he was like, and I ain't got nothing to benchmark him against, but the way he came across at that training session, I just thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah, well, Andy's a leader, mate. You know, when I think back to playing with him and managing him, he's a leader, right? And he's always led by example. He's always done the talking, like you say, and I think the message is always clear and concise, and people understand it. One of the big things we talked about on Saturday was language, you know, and understanding some of the terminology of how we're going to set us up. And, you know, there should be some triggers in that when we say certain things from the sideline, that you understand what that means, where we need people to be, what shape we're in, and what stage in the game we're at. And I think he delivers those messages unbelievably well. So again, you know, I'll touch on the fact that it's a trust thing. I trust Andy to get those messages across for me. And when all the lads understand that, you know, there'll be a little trigger where, you know, something's shouted, some information's gone onto the pitch. And I'd like to think, you know, we can hold them to account for that, because they all understand what it is. So yeah, Andy will be great, and he's just a great character. You know, he understands the game, he understands this level. He's played a hell of a lot of games at this level for his age. So if his pure focus is on coaching now, it was absolute music to my ears, mate, because it was the first call I wanted to make. So yeah, I'm really happy that we've got the right people in to aid me to set this environment. This is what it's all about, and I've said to the lads a number of times already, we just want to create the environment where you boys can go out and think about football. Nothing else, right? We won't leave a stone unturned for you to not just go out and concentrate on your football. And if we get that right, the changing room's brilliant. There's a great changing room there. The lads are of the caliber that I'd expect. Some great signings were made. I won't shirk away from that. There's some phenomenal footballers in this team. We're just giving them a little bit of a different environment to be able to go flourish. That's my thought process on it. And as long as they buy into that, there's great opportunity for them.
So moving on to tomorrow night, how's the squad looking? It looked pretty fresh on Saturday. Is there any injury worries apart from Peterson?
No, we haven't got any fresh injury worries. So it's the long terms really. It's your Josh Baz, Alex Peterson that are obviously long term. Danielle trained and looked sharp and looked fit. So across the piece, really, mate, we're where we need to be. Everyone other than those long term lads are available for selection, which is great. The only one that we're probably missing at the moment that we're unable to work with is Alex Markham out on loan. We've got Ben Voaz also dual registered and out on loan. So we can't do anything with Alex until his loan expires, and we can bring him back into the fold. But other than that, we can choose who we like. We've got a fully fit squad other than those two long terms, which is good news for us, really.
Yeah, on the Alex Markham situation, I would get it out, Dan. Are you going to be recalling him after his loan finishes at Beverley? Yeah. So there you go. There's some breaking news, people. Alex will be back. What was I going to say now? So I think if it's not coming to mind, it can't be that important. What we'll do is we'll go through whatever's in the chat. If there's any questions for Mike, we'll get them done now, and then we're probably going to bid you adieu. It's just a quick one. Mike's a great guy. I'm sure, when he can, if he gets 20 minutes here and there, he'll come on. Same with Andy. He said that he's willing to do it. So, yeah, really good from fan engagement perspective. But we'll get through these. I know Norm is absolutely buzzing, Mike, and he'll want me to tell you that. He comes on here regularly now as well. But, yeah, he was absolutely buzzing when the news came through. So I know he'd want me to tell you that. But he'll see you tomorrow night. Right, so Chris Benrose. Good luck for tomorrow. Let's get off to a great start with a win. Hope so, Chris. Ryan. This is a really exciting period for me at the club. For me, loved getting down to see the training. Looks really professional. Be there tomorrow night. Come on, Seasiders. Get behind the new gaffer. Appreciate that, Ryan. Again, Ryan. This is a really exciting period at the club for me. Seeing the lads training was great. Really well organised and professional. We'll be down tomorrow night. Let's get behind the new gap. I think that was the same message, but cool. Thank you. The Mole didn't get to know about this show again. Oh, that's Dom Taylor. Great that you've got Mike on. Build a good relationship and come on regular. Yeah, Mike. Me and Mike's talked like before he got the job back and stuff like that. Like we don't know each other that well, but we're cool. Andy Norfolk next year. Andy's coming on. Yeah, he's definitely going to be able to chat. He might be on for an hour. Do you have any irons in the fire for newcomers from Chris? Have you got any eyes on players that you might want to bring in?
Yeah, we've got a few conversations that are going on already. So watch this space. I think it's a difficult one. It's a difficult time of the season. There's potential for released players from 21s at professional clubs as well, where we're having those conversations at the moment. And there's two conversations going on, but I'll respect that. I'm not going to mention those because we don't know where they're going to go at the moment. Another big one for me is tying up loan players. Everybody knows how well Seb's performed for the club so far. What I've seen, he's a really, really big leader in the changing room. So getting that one over the line would be really, really important to me. And then both Charlie Winfield and Ahmed Salam as well. They'll feel like new signings. If we can make sure that we get those over the line to fulfil the season is what the aim is. So I've been working really hard over the last 3 days to sell what it is that we're doing. And having those boys training with us. I don't think they've regularly trained as lone players, but I can't have that. I want them training with us, and there was all their training with us on Saturday. So long may that continue. But just selling to them what it is that we want to achieve in the last 3.5, 4 months of the season to do what we expect. Those boys have got a big part to play in that. So they'll feel like signings if we get those over the line as well, which I'm hoping we do. So I'll tell you guys first as soon as we're over the line with anything. I'll give you the information up front.
Anybody you think he might be surplus to requirements, Mike? Or
not at the moment. Like I said, the training was all about buy-in, right? And the buy-in's there. It's a clean slate. Everyone's got an opportunity with me. If things change over the weeks, then things change. But at the moment, I feel like the boys have buzzed off this new environment that we've set. And if that aids results, then I'm over the moon. So yeah, everyone's got an opportunity to showcase what they're capable of, and having a full complement to choose from, barring those 2 boys that we've said are long term, is great for me. So it gives us something to build off of. And yeah, like I say, it's a clean slate. They've got an opportunity. If that changes in the coming weeks, that changes, and we can have conversations about it. But yeah, I'm really happy with what we've got. We're just going to give them a different way of thinking.
Brilliant. So, Dom's after wanting to do as a live show from the town bar. Might be a bit loud, but we could try it. We'll talk to Gav about it. It might be, because the thing is, you might get questions in from the audience. Do you know what I mean? And it might be really engaging and stuff like that. Something we can definitely explore. Fans forum type of thing. Yeah. I know Gav wants to do a fans forum. He mentioned it on one of the posts. Remember that, Mike? When I think it was COVID times, and there was that fans forum. It was about an hour long when you first came in.
Yeah. It was sort of an introduction to me and an introduction to what we wanted to do. So, listen, I'm open. We're here to entertain you guys, right? So I'm more than open to have conversations at fans forums about development of the club, where we want to take this, what the plans are, long-term goals. If it's something that the fans want to hear and see, let's have those conversations with the powers that be. I'd be more than open to being a part of that for sure.
Chris, I think this is leading on from his last question, which was, do you have any irons in the fire? I guess he's asking, is there anybody Grimsby-based around the foundation or those kind of local leagues that you've seen and I'm guessing want to bring in?
Yeah, Grimsby Town. I work at Grimsby Town. Grimsby Town have some pretty close connections with both Cleethorpes and Grimsby Borough. That's not to say that I can't open those doors. I've had those conversations. I've started to have those conversations. So, professional clubs like boys to get different experiences as well. So they'll regularly put them out for a month and then send them at the same level somewhere else. So yeah, these conversations can be had. I've already started having the conversations with both Hull City and Grimsby Town. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. If there's it's got to improve us, right?
It's got to be better than what we've got, right?
And if it improves us and we think it's something that we're lacking or we need, then we'll do our best to push it.
I think that's everything. There's no more questions in the chat. All that's left to say, mate, is good luck for tomorrow, and we'll be down there shouting for the boys. How excited are you?
I'm over the moon. Like I say, it happened rather quickly, but I'm over the moon to be back. Feels a little bit unfinished business, but the big thing for me is that the club's in a different position to where it was when I left it.
Ambitions wise.
100%. Yeah. And infrastructure wise, what I've got open to me in way of resource and the medical side of things, nutrition, the thought process on what next year could look like if we achieve what I expect us to achieve. It's a really, really exciting period for the club, and that was too good to sort of walk away from. So to get the opportunity again was humbling, and I was honoured for it. And I've gone out and built a team that I think, in way of management team, that I think can really push us forward. So yeah, I'm excited, mate, and we're here to entertain you guys. So I hope that we can put something out on the pitch better than what you've seen for the start of the season.
Yeah, Dom's saying he's buzzing. He's also saying that you'll be able to charge your car, Mike, at the ground. So you must have an electric car, mate.
Yeah.
Right, everyone's buzzing. Listen, keep that energy. Mike's probably not going to get any sleep tonight. His head will be going like this all night. Right, getting ready for tomorrow. Make sure you get down there. Make sure you get in early. Build a bit of an atmosphere. And that's like Mike said. Let's turn Queen's Gate into a fortress. Let's make it a really tough place for people to come. Thanks goes to Mike as always. Very busy man. Took his time out to come on the channel. So thanks goes out to Mike again. And listen, everybody at Seaside TV will see you there tomorrow. Mike will see you there tomorrow. And what we're saying, I'll give a score prediction right now because I'm not bothered. 3-1 Brid.
I'd love it.
3-1 Brid. Mike will be loving it.
Yeah, I'll come and pay you out if you're right.
3-1 Brid, people. Get down there to see it. Nathan Dyer, first goal scorer, if he starts. Right, that's been Seasiders TV. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, peace.